Hi guys, I'm Zoe from Zoe's Fancy Cakes, and today I wanted to have a go at making a buttercream Christmas cake. So buttercream is something I don't often do, but I really wanted to have a go and also to make some little chocolate baubles for decorations for Christmas. So I've baked 2 colour sponges, a red one and a white one. So I have had to add food colouring to both of these. So I've used the white caramel on these white ones and the red caramel on the red ones. I'm just cutting off the outer edges of my cakes just because it's a little bit drier on the edges. And I've got a patterned drum ready so that I don't have to do any decoration on the drum. I'll put links below to what I've used within this video. And all I'm going to do is just sandwich these layers up with a bit of buttercream in between. And I have used a flavoured buttercream, guys, for this one. Again, I'll put links below the video so you can see which one I've used. And you're just going to pile them up till you've got them as tall as you want. Bear in mind, when you do go really tall, you sometimes need a bit of support in the middle as it starts to move from side to side a bit. And also it will squish down under the weight if it's really tall. So I'm going to cover the whole thing now in a layer of buttercream. So I'm just putting it on with my palette knife and then I'm just going to scrape any extra off. So this is just a first coat, and what we'll do is we'll put this in the fridge, let it set, and then we'll put on our second coat. So you can go quite thickly with it at first and then you can scrape down and get it a little bit thinner if you want. And I'm going to leave it so it sticks up a bit at the top edge, but we're going to push in some little sprinkles. So these ones are chocolate filled sprinkles. Again, I'll put links below. I do sell most of the things in my online shop, guys. Obviously you don't have to buy them from me, but they are there if you do want them. So it's important you push these in before the buttercream has too much time to set, just because they won't go in as well and you'll end up kind of cracking your buttercream a bit if it's already set. Then I've got some meringues that I'm just going to stick on the top and at the side, and some little mini sugar candy canes. So they're shop bought ones, are those ones. I didn't make those, I got dead lazy. And then I really wanted to have a play around with my chocolate mould. So I've got this gingerbread man-shaped one, which I'm going to use the gold and milk chocolate, I think, mixed together in. And I'm going to use some crisp pearls as well. In fact, we're going to stick these in the round hold moulds first. I can't remember what the round one is called. Again, I'll find the links, guys, and I'll put everything below. Now, the crisp pearls are kind of like biscuity, sort of cereally, crunchy bits. So I thought it was just nicer than having it just solid chocolate. This mould, the round one, is fairly difficult to push things out of though, so if it's a solid chocolate, it just makes it a bit easier to pop out the mould. I've made a bit of a mess getting it in there, but it's fine. And then all my leftover bit of chocolate that I haven't put in that mould, I'm just going to spread onto a piece of greaseproof paper for later. And then I'm going to use the gold chocolate. So I haven't washed out the cup that I'm melting it in because I wanted to make it a little bit darker in colour, so that remaining chocolate that was in there mixed with that gold chocolate melted together is going to make it a little bit darker. Although it's slightly marbled looking on some of them, which wasn't intentional at all, guys. And just before these ones set, I want to stick a cocktail stick in the back, just so that later when I dip them in things, it's going to make it a little bit easier for me. So let's finish filling our gingerbread men. Now, I wasn't going to fill the candy canes. We'll look at maybe doing those later. We'll see. My leftover chocolate, again, I'm just going to put it on greaseproof paper. It makes it easy to peel it off and reuse it once it's set. Now I'm going to melt some white chocolate. And I'm dividing it into 2 containers, and I'm putting a little bit of red food colouring in one of them and white food colouring in the other. Now guys, just remember, you can't use just any food colouring in chocolate. It does have to be an oil-based food colouring for it to work well in chocolate. I'm going to put a layer of white chocolate on top of that chocolate that I poured onto the greaseproof paper earlier. So we're layering it up. And then I'm using the red chocolate, and we're just kind of splashing it across to make some little stripes. And then if you want to add more of your sprinkles or your chocolate pearls for decoration, you can do. I think it actually looked quite nice before I put them on, but they're in there now. So once these are set, you can pull the little chocolate balls out, and I'm going to dip them into that red chocolate that I've got from earlier. And I've just got an old polystyrene dummy that I'm going to put them in just to let them dry. Now you'll notice when the chocolate starts to cool, it becomes much thicker and it doesn't give you as much of a nice rounded ball shape. It will misshape the ball a bit, so you don't want the chocolate to set too much while you're doing this. So now, taking the red chocolate, I'm going to pour some of the white stuff in it, but I don't want to mix it up. And then I'm going to dip one of those chocolate balls in, spinning it as I dip it in and sort of twisting it as I dip it out as well. So it gives us this nice effect. So I've put some more of that red chocolate into a little piping bag, and what I'm trying to do is pipe it into this mould. Now there are actually lines in the mould so I can see whereabouts to pipe this red chocolate for the candy canes. You can now cut into your chocolate slab. So they're not quite fully set, so I can cut through them. I'm just going to pour some white chocolate into those candy canes. I didn't do it earlier just because I wanted the red to set nice and firmly before I put the white chocolate in. Also, guys, with those chocolate pearls, once you've dipped them in chocolate, if you want, you can dip them in little sprinkles and things as well. So I'm trying that with a white one. Then once we've done that, everything's drying, we can start to piece it all together. So I'm just going to put those chocolate slabs into the top. Now I've just poured a little bit of melted chocolate down the back of them so that'll set on the back and hold them in place. Pull out your chocolates, have a look at what they look like. They're not too bad. The candy canes are not the neatest, but they're actually neater than I was expecting them to be. And you can also make the balls in solid red or white chocolate as well. So have a play around with them. You don't have to add everything that you've made to the cake. I'm just putting a little dollop of buttercream here, and then I can stick a little gingerbread man in. So the gold chocolate that I have used for the gingerbread men is a caramel flavour. It kind of reminds me of Caramac. I don't know who remembers Caramac bars. I think you still get them. And then we'll just push on our little candy canes, chocolate pieces. Just make sure that they're not too heavy to just stick into the side of the cake. Otherwise, you're going to find that they just drop back off again. So there it is. This one all made. Let's cut into it and see what it looks like inside. And I reckon it's going to be my dad eating this one, guys. Thanks for watching today's tutorial. Don't forget to tune in for some more Christmas videos coming soon. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and more.